following training is sponsored by the Niagara Library System. We serve our member libraries in Niagara, Orleans, and Genesee counties. Please visit your local library homepage and use your library card to get access to streaming videos, downloadable music, audiobooks, ebooks, and even more from the comfort of your own home. Thank you.
Hello, welcome back. Today's book and a movie turned into two books and two different movies. In my roaming around our collection, I ran into this particular book that we have here at Niagara, and it is Saving Private Ryan. This was an absolute amazing movie that was released back in July of 1998. I can't believe it's been that long already. It really changed a lot of the way war movies were told, and let's hop into this. And actually what we're going to do is just very briefly kind of compare the Saving Private Ryan to another war movie, which was called The Longest Day. That was based on a book by Cornelius Ryan. Now, there are differences between the two, so let's jump into this. Janine Basinger writes, in late July 1998, Steven Spielberg landed on the American public with his World War II film, Saving Private Ryan, which won the war of critics, veterans. This was really important. Veterans, scholars, historians, and the general movie public. No one is going to argue, she writes here, with World War II veterans who have stated that Saving Private Ryan is the most realistic presentation of combat they've seen. That was at the time. Okay? There is also no question but that Spielberg has achieved integrity in his images. He closely consulted with historian Stephen E. Ambrose, author of Citizen Soldiers and many other books, and Dale Dye, a retired Marine Corps captain who acted as his chief military advisor. Dale Dye, just as a side note, played a colonel in Band of Brothers. That was where he was, Dale Dye. The issue to be discussed is not combat accuracy or the quality of the movie, but what she was talking about in this particular article, and again, all of my references are linked in the description. You can see them on the screen as well. And what she was debating and what historians were debating was the actual historical accuracy, the history of World War II, combat genre, and Saving Private Ryan's place in that history. Now, Saving Private Ryan started with D-Day. Now, this is really important to note in that it started with D-Day, and that was a real event. They landed on Omaha Beach. That actually happened. But the events after D-Day are fictionalized. They're fictionalized events of the squad led by Captain Miller, who was played by Tom Hanks, going to save Private Ryan, what happened and those types of things. So the historical accuracy or the things that people might pick on or kind of pinpoint with Saving Private Ryan is not the actual story, because the actual story is made up. It would be things like the uniforms, the military hardware that was used, the way they moved and how they walked in the columns and files, and the way the squad would react to different threats in the tactics of the day. So they go on really deep dive into that. I didn't want to do that. I just really, really liked the movie. And when I ran into this book on the shelf, I was quite impressed, and I remembered how much I liked the movie. And again, the interesting thing about this book is this particular book would be a book on the movie, because the movie is fictional, okay? So it would recount the events of the movie, but starting with D-Day, that was real. In contrast, now, Saving Private Ryan, though, I have to say here, the movie was absolutely seminal. It just hit like really a bomb. And I remember that was the first time I can recall in my memory that the VA, the Department of Veterans Affairs, set up a hotline specifically for people who were suffering flashbacks because of the movie, because the D-Day scenes, the opening scenes, were really that good. And if you watch the movie, it stands up. It has held up even up till now. Now, in contrast, we can look at another decorated movie called The Longest Day, and that was released back in 1962. So not even 20 years after the actual events from 1944, but a completely different era of film. And to the movie standards of the time, it was epic, it was well done. It was produced by Darryl F. Zanuck, who served in World War II and took part in D-Day. And it focuses almost entirely on the day itself. Now, the difference, too, between The Longest Day and Saving Private Ryan is The Longest Day really is about the events and the real things that happened on the ground that day, on June 6th, 1944. It focuses almost entirely on the day itself, foregoing the up-close and personal style of Saving Private Ryan. The movie is also based on an excellent book named The Longest Day, and that was penned by Cornelius Ryan. Now, these two books, of course, and the movies that they inspired or are based on, or those things, are available through your local libraries. Let me move over to our catalog. You can see here are the results for Saving Private Ryan. We have the video recording. This is actually in 4K Ultra. This one here is in Blu-ray, and I can see that here, and I can actually see it. I know it's hard to see. Maybe I can zoom in on the covers. This one says 4K Ultra, this one says Blu-ray, and this one right here says video disc. Another interesting thing that we have here is a video disc on the real story of Saving Private Ryan. And this is where the history comes in, and this is where, again, remember the story itself of the squad led by the captain going to get Private Ryan was a made-up story, but how does it stack up against history? And of course, really cool is the large print text right here that I'm holding in my hot little hands of the movie. We move over now from Saving Private Ryan, we can find, and again, I need to scroll up here, the results for The Longest Day. And here is the video recording for The Longest Day. Now, of course, when you look for Longest Day, you end up with almost everything in the title that has Longest Day in it. And so that's not correct. This is actually very interesting in that you have 4 movies in one, including Tora, Tora, Tora. Tora, Tora, Tora was the account of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on that day, on December 7th, 41. That was also a very lauded movie for the time. It was very well done. But what I'm really looking for is this book right here. This is the book, The Longest Day by Cornelius Ryan, and it's combined with A Bridge Too Far, which is about the Battle of Arnhem. And if I click on that, I get the book itself here, and it's actually 2 books that are combined into one. They're classic books, and I can go through. You can see as if you're reading the back of the book with the abstract, and it tells you what the book is about. Hi, Lockport. You're the one that has this particular book. If Lockport isn't your library, all I have to do, if I scroll up to the top of the page, I can go right here and I can click Place a Hold. So if I do that, it's going to ask me for my library card number and my PIN. When I put in my library card number and PIN, it gives me a choice of libraries, including my home library. Hi, Newfane. And I can then place the hold and actually pick it up in a few days right from the Newfane library. Thank you. If you have any other ideas for videos, let me know. I think these are fun. I'm glad you watched. Take care. Bye now.